Congratulations to the class of 2017. Today is Mother's Day, so I'm going to ask all of the seniors to stand and acknowledge your mothers, your grandmothers, your aunts, and other guardians. Please stand and give them a round of applause. Thank you. Please be seated. Etched in stone above the entrance to Earl Hall are the words, "Erected for the students that religion and learning may go hand in hand and character grow with knowledge." We remain committed to that aspiration in a world far more complex than any of us might ever have imagined. Each of you, talented seniors, is testimony to the hope that we keep sacred. It is with courage and faith that we commend you and say, "Come, let us reason together." I would like to ask our deans to stand and be acknowledged. Dean Valentini, Provost Bell, Dean Boyce, Dean Ahn, Dean Hinkson, Dean Crum, Dean Hartford. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amram Altsman. I am in General Studies and the Jewish Theological Seminary. I'll be reading an excerpt today from the book of Deuteronomy, from Moses' final speech to the Israelites. And he says, "Surely, this instruction which I enjoin upon you this day is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach. It is not in the heavens that you should say, 'Who among us can go up to the heavens and get it for us and impart it to us, that we might observe it?' Neither is it beyond the sea that you should say, 'Who among us can cross to the sea, to the other side of the sea, and retrieve it for us and impart it to us, that we might observe it?' No, the instruction is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart to observe it. Behold, I have put before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life if you and your offspring would live, by loving God, heeding God's commands, and holding fast to God. For thereby you shall have life and shall long endure that God swore to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give to them." Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. My name is Dominique Ballou. I'm graduating from Barnard, class of 2017. Woo! And I will be reading a passage that's helped my Christian journey from Exodus. And this is Moses speaking to the Lord. Exodus 4:10-16. Moses said to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." The Lord said to him, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." But Moses said, "Pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else." Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "What about your brother, Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do." In this passage, God is relentless. Even within his anger, he provides mercy and a brother to guide Moses from the doubt and the fear that stings him. And while at Barnard over these past 4 years, God has provided me with a family that keeps me on course with his mission and that keeps me away from succumbing to my own fear and doubt. So I am forever blessed for the people, for the friends, for the deans, for the family that have helped me in this process. Thank you.
Hello, friends, family, and graduates. And my Sikh family members and friends in the audience, I want you to join me in saying, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Harleen Kaur, and I am graduating from Barnard College. I am here reading for the Sikh faith. I will be reading a piece from the Guru Granth Sahib, our holy scripture, and our 11th and last Guru, a piece that is written by our 5th Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. I chose this reading in celebration of all of our successes here at Columbia, and to serve as a reminder to myself that I would not be here if it were not for Vaheguru, the one creator and force we believe connects all across faiths and beliefs. Maj mahalla panjwa, tu mera pita, tu hai mera mata, तू मेरा बंदप तू मेरा भ्राता तू मेरा राखा सबनी थाई तांभो के हाकाड़ा जियो तुमरी कृपा ते तुद पछाना तू मेरी ओट तू है मेरा माना तुझ बिन दूजा अवर न कोई सब तेरा खेल अखाड़ा जियो जी जंत सब तुदे उपाए जित जित पाना तित तित लाए सब किछ कीता तेरा होवै नाही किछ असाड़ा जियो नाम ते आए महासुख पाया हर गुण गाए मेरा मन शीतलाया गुरपुरब जी वधाई नानक जिता बिखाड़ा जियो नाम ते आए महासुख पाया हर गुण गाए मेरा मन शीतलाया गुरपुरब जी वधाई नानक जिता बिखाड़ा जियो. The translation reads, You are my father, you are my mother. You are my family, and you are my brother. You are my protector everywhere, so why should I feel any fear or anxiety? By your blessings, I recognize you. You are my shelter, and you are my honor. Without you, there is no other. The entire universe is the arena of your play. You have created all beings and creatures, and as it pleases you, you assign tasks to one and all. All things are your doing, and we can do nothing ourselves. Meditating on your Nam, your name, I have found great peace. Singing the praises of the One, my mind is soothed and cooled. Through the perfect Guru, congratulations are pouring in. Nanak is victorious on the arduous battlefield of life. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Faizan Kathari. I am a senior in Columbia College, and I will be reading a verse from the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس إن خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائلا لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. The translation reads, O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, that you may know one another, not that you may despise one another. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is he who is the most righteous of you, and Allah has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. What I really like about this verse is that it not only talks about differences as a strength, but it makes them cosmically derived with divine intent and divine wisdom. We're all leaving a heterogeneous university to enter into a more heterogeneous world. And as we do that, we would be wise to listen to all the different voices around us. Thank you.
जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख भिन से मन का स्वामी दुख भिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी स्वामी शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा प्रभु बिन और न दूजा आस करूं मैं जिसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्णांत आत्मा तुम अंतरयामी स्वामी तुम अंतरयामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं मूरख कर कामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो भरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किसविदमिलोदयामय किसविदमिलोदयामय तुमको मैं कुमति ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे अपने हाथ उठाओ अपने शरण बढ़ाओ द्वार पर तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा स्वामी पाप हरो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा प्रेम सिखाओ संतन के सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे तन मन धन सब है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा तेरा तुझको अर्पण तेरा तुझको अर्पण क्या लागे मेरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे
Good morning, graduates, families, and friends. My name is Alex Lee. I'm a senior graduating in Columbia College, and today I'll be reading an excerpt from the Christian Bible. In the New Testament account of Jesus' life, there is a moment when, after Jesus arrives in the holy city of Jerusalem, Jesus, the supposed Son of God, in all of his power and glory, stands up from the meal he and his disciples are having, wraps a towel around his waist, and washes his disciples' feet. He then begins to speak to his disciples about his death that is to come, saying this, "My children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and just as I told the Jews, so I tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." Jesus' command for his disciples, as he thought about leaving them, was for them to love one another. What about us, as we think about leaving Columbia, this beloved place of community, closeness, and growth? How will we face the new environments, rich with their new people and new cultures, that we're about to enter into? How will we be known to the people we'll meet who don't yet know us? Jesus loved his disciples by the humble act of washing their feet, even when he was filled with the power and glory as the Son of God. What if we loved like that? What if we took the power we've worked so hard to earn at Columbia and used it to serve others? I think that kind of love could transform the worlds we're about to enter into, and it is that kind of love that makes us followers of Jesus. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you to Chaplain Davis for inviting me to speak today. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, grandmothers, and aunts here with us today. I am an Indo-Persian American. My father was born in India. My mother was born in Iran. My father is a Sikh. My mother, a Baha'i. Growing up in a multicultural, interfaith household has shaped the point of view with which I see the world. Today marks the beginning of the 10th year of incarceration for the 7 members of the Yaran, the unofficial leaders of the Baha'i community in Iran. Their imprisonment is just one facet of the discrimination faced by Baha'i communities in Iran. Baha'i students in Iran are not allowed to attend college or university. Given that many Baha'is in Iran are denied higher education, I feel immensely privileged to have had the opportunity to receive an incredible education at Columbia and to be here about to graduate, speaking to you today. This gratitude and the values taught to me by my parents from both their faiths have shaped how I approached my years at Columbia. At the kernel of Sikhism, my dad taught me our 3 values. Kirit Kuro, do good, honest work. Van Chako, share what you have with others. And Nam Japo, say the praises of the Lord. Taking this mindset to my studies at Columbia helped remind me that the value of my education is not manifested in grades earned on exams or papers or the number of classes taken, but in the skills and knowledge we've developed through hard work and collaboration with others. The knowledge gained here extends beyond the classroom to the activities of student groups, eye-opening conversations with those different from ourselves, in interfaith spaces and intergroup collaborations. Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, writes, "Knowledge is as wings to man's life, and a ladder for his ascent. Its acquisition is incumbent upon everyone. The knowledge of such sciences, however, should be acquired as can profit the peoples of the earth, and not those which begin with words and end with words." As we enter into the world endowed with knowledge and awareness by our Columbia education, we must also be prepared to share our love for the arts and sciences in conjunction with our beliefs and values for the betterment of our respective communities and for all communities. Congratulations to the class of 2017. May we continue our pursuit of knowledge, share it with others, and work to use the privilege of our education for the ascent of all.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. Chaplain Davis, Rabbi Hain, Chris Conlon, Dean Valentini, faculty, mom, dad, and class of 2017. Thank you for granting me the honor of sharing a few words with you today. Throughout my 4 years in college, the Jewish community on campus has been my home away from home, my haven to retreat to the familiar and celebrate my faith. But ask me when at Columbia I felt my strongest sense of self, I would tell you that it was when leaving the confines of my familiar in order to embrace the other. To quote the great French Jewish philosopher Emmanuel Levinas, to approach the other in conversation is to welcome his expression. It is to receive from the other beyond the capacity of the I, which means exactly to be taught. The relation with the other, or conversation, is a non-allergic relation, an ethical relation. But inasmuch as it is welcome, this conversation is a teaching. Teaching is not reducible to maieudics. It comes from the exterior and brings me more than I can contain. In its nonviolent transitivity, the very epiphany of the face is produced. Levinas further develops this idea in his work, 9 Talmudic Readings, in which he describes how one can only exist in conjunction with the other, our identity only emerging when it faces that which is different. Like I'm sure many in this room today would agree, this idea is one I find strikingly relevant to my 4 years of study at Columbia. My freshman fall semester in literature humanities was the first time that I sat in a classroom with those of different identities, religions, races, and culture. I had spent the previous 16 years of my formal education learning the Bible and its infamous tales, but my Monday, Wednesday Lit Hum class was the first time that I had the chance to explore these stories through someone else's lens. I quickly learned that my religious identity made me a minority in the classroom. That semester, I learned not to polarize myself or my beliefs from those of others, but to listen to my classmates' questions and develop my beliefs with nuance and context. It was while volunteering in Ecuador with a group of amazing Columbia women as the only Jew, the only non-person of color, and the only Spanish speaker still grasping onto her broken high school Spanish. I felt it while traveling with the chaplain's office as a Craft Global Fellow to explore the religions of India. And finally, it has been through countless conversations with friends, roommates, and my fellow classmates about their own faiths and ideologies. These experiences taught me that in order to form my true identity, I possess a need to learn from and engage with others. Class of 2017, thank you for giving me so many opportunities to learn from you. I hope that each and every one of you has had some similar experience here in which you developed yourself and your beliefs by learning from someone different from you. Learning from difference is a skill that will serve us well as we leave these gates and embark on our journey into, quote, the real world. Many of us will leave here to start on our paths as future world leaders in the fields of law, medicine, finance, or social justice. Wherever life after Columbia may lead you, I ask each and every one of you today to embody Levinas's words and view your relationships with others as one of love and need, not of hatred, fear, or indifference. Use your Columbia degrees to never stop questioning and learning from others. Speak to those whose customs may seem strange or even offensive. Run towards others, not from them. Recognize your need for them and embrace what they may teach you about yourselves. Thank you all, and congratulations, class of 2017.
My name is Mukund. I am different, and that's okay. My family hails from Tamil Nadu, India. Growing up in an immigrant household meant that English was never my first language, and that is where it all started. Going to preschool without knowing how to say I wanted to use the bathroom in English was a little jarring, to be sure, but that was just the beginning. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, a city which demographically was not the most diverse city in America. I spent the first 4 years of school as one of the only students of color in a predominantly white Catholic school. It was here, for the first time, that I started to question myself. Why did I look so different from the other kids? Why was my idea of God so different from theirs? As the odd kid out, all you want to do is fit in, to be accepted, to be a part of your community. Instead, at times, I felt myself having to explain why my lunch looked different from everyone else's, or why I couldn't eat meat like the rest of the guys. Fast forward a couple years, when in the 4th grade, I transferred to the Ladue Public School District in St. Louis. Going to a public school changed my whole outlook on life. Seeing a variety of faces around me helped me no longer feel alone or afraid. There were others with me, trying to figure out where they fit, both as Americans and as second-generation immigrants. Then finally came my senior year of high school, where I made the best decision of my life, to come to the best university in the best city in the world, Columbia. And it was here that I got to the final phase of my transformation. Not just accepting the fact that I was different, but embracing it. As a freshman and East Coast first-timer, coming to New York was an overwhelming experience for me. It was nothing like the cozy streets of the suburban Midwest. Being tossed into 300-person engineering lectures in Pupin with a sea of students from Peru to Queens only amplified that feeling. I was just looking for a community where I could find and be myself. And I found just that with the Hindu Students Organization here at Columbia. As an underclassman on the club, I learned so much from the older guys and girls, from how to sing bhajans and understand their meaning, to the best places to get quality Indian food nearby. Learning from them both how to dance and have fun at Diwali and Holi, and also understand why we Hindus celebrate each of these festivals, truly opened my eyes. Even attending lectures on topics as seemingly far-fetched as Hinduism and its interesting parallels to the movie The Matrix, and volunteering at thrift shops and food drives in the Hindu spirit of community service piqued a certain formerly dormant curiosity about myself and my heritage. As I grew into my shoes, I began to explore more, going on pilgrimages to temples in India, the United States, and even Hong Kong during my sophomore summer interning abroad. After 3 wonderful years on the club, I was given the opportunity to be president, and finally got my chance to give back to the Columbia community and help the next generation of underclassmen. With the recent uptick in xenophobia and fear of immigrant communities, particularly the brown-skinned kind, I've helped organize multiple interfaith events to promote tolerance and compassion on campus, and invited friends of all backgrounds to my HSO programming. Through it all, I've come to appreciate this campus so much more. The solidarity, the love, and the understanding that I have witnessed here has been truly inspiring. From protests on low steps to late-night conversations with my friends about politics, it's truly a beautiful place. After 4 years at Columbia, I haven't just accepted the fact that I'm different, I'm proud of it. I am who I am, and I'm no longer afraid to accept that. Now, coming this far wouldn't have been possible without the love and support of the immense number of people that I would like to thank today. First off, to my parents, my little brother, who are sitting in the crowd today, thank you. Thanks for sticking with me through the highs and lows and just encouraging me to pursue what my heart told me to do in life. Also, happy Mother's Day, Mom. To my friends and my support group, from the squad in St. Louis to my fam away from fam here, thanks for keeping a smile on my face and keeping me sane these past 4 years. I'd also like to thank my professors, mentors, and Dean Boyce here that inspired me, pushed me, and kept the flame of curiosity alive inside me. Also, quick shout out to the underappreciated staff on this campus, from the security guards to the dining staff. We see you guys, and we know that you make this place run like a clockwork, so thank you. And finally, thanks to Chaplain Davis and her wonderful office for giving me the opportunity to speak this morning. It's a great honor. I'd like to close with a message to the class of 2017. As we end our chapters here at Columbia, please always remember that from this point on, the real world around us won't be the same as the wonderful little bubble of this campus. It will ask us to conform. It will ask us to adapt. It will ask us to forego our roots or even tell us that we are not welcome here. But please, don't let anyone else tell you who you are or who you should be. That decision is yours, and yours alone. You are different, and that is okay. Thank you.
And so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it's clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. And yes, there were times, I'm sure you do, when I did all more than I could do. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall. I did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what has he got if not himself? Then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who lives. Yes, it was my way.
Nitaki Chokma, good morning. Yamikma Elimomakat, Ilo Idiba Chafachi. May we be together as one on this morning on the indigenous land of the Lenni Lenape people. Like the Lenni Lenape, the Chickasaw people hold that land is sacred to our identity. We affirm this knowledge through our oral history that tells how centuries before Europeans arrived on American soil, two brothers and chiefs, Minko Chata and Minko Chickasaw, led my ancestors from a hostile territory in the land of the setting sun to search for a more peaceful homeland. Our only helmsman was a wooden pole called Iti Vabasa Holitopa. At the end of each day's journey, this sacred wooden pole was planted in the earth, and at daybreak, the direction that it leaned determined the bearing that the people would travel. When the pole no longer leaned, but stood straight up and down, the people would know that they had arrived at their new homeland. The progress of such a great caravan of people was slow, but they pressed onward in the direction that the pole indicated, always toward the rising sun. And when the people came to the banks of a massive body of water that we know today as the Mississippi River, Iti Vabasa Holitopa leaned eastward. Undeterred, the people crossed the water and persisted in their search until one fateful morning when the sacred pole began acting strangely. First, it wobbled erratically and then stood perfectly straight. Minko Chata was convinced that this was the awaited sign of a new homeland. But his brother, Minko Chickasaw, disagreed, insisting that Iti Vabasa Holitopa was telling the people to press onward. Minko Chickasaw picked up the sacred pole and invited any who felt as he did to follow. The majority of people remained with Minko Choctaw, and ever since, this group of people is known as the Choctaw. But a small contingent, my ancestors, followed Minko Chickasaw, and today we are known as the Chickasaw. While the story provides no indication for how long Minko Chickasaw and his followers traveled, my ancestors remained faithful to the direction indicated by the sacred pole, even when the pole suddenly reversed directions to take a westward bearing, heading straight back from where they came. Eventually, though, and I imagine to everyone's great relief, Iti Vabasa Holitopa stood straight up and down, bringing my ancestors a mere 100 miles north from where they had earlier parted company with their Choctaw brethren. In the early 1800s, the United States government forced the Chickasaw people to remove from our homelands in Indian Territory, a region that would soon become the state of Oklahoma. Despite this displacement from our sovereign territory, the hearts and identity of my people will always remain tied to that fertile landscape that today composes the northern portion of the state of Mississippi. As much as the religiously devout Chickasaw majority find within our migration story an affirmation of faith and divine providence, the story of Iti Fabasa Holitopa also resonates with those like myself who lean towards scientific evidence and that shows the Burgess Shale, within the Burgess Shale, showing that human existence hinges upon fortuitous randomness of nature. But whether one understands this Chickasaw story as one of spiritual destiny or the luck of the draw, this oral history asserts the inextricable link between indigenous land and identity. Above all, my people's origin story speaks to the unconquered and unconquerable spirit of all Native American peoples and our will to preserve our heritage and territorial sovereignty. The Chickasaw migration story is a narrative of choice and trust, setbacks and endurance, separation and belonging. And much like the long journey that brought my ancestors to our homeland, I took a circuitous route to Columbia's School of General Studies. From aspiring rock star to meditation teacher to wife and mother of 3 daughters and public school volunteer. I arrived on campus unsure of what I was looking for other than a sense of belonging. I set about completing the core curriculum along with a fairly random selection of classes until some internal divining pull pointed me toward the anthropology department. There, I met Native and non-Native professors and colleagues who taught me how to look for signs of my indigenous family's erased history. The fortuitous payoff of my academic gamble led to the reclamation of my Chickasaw heritage, language, and identity, and a renewed sense of belonging. Chickasaw Governor Bill Anatubi states, "Being Chickasaw is who you are in your heart. I know that I feel at home. There is a yearning inside that gets filled. It is a part of you. It makes you whole." And although my time at Columbia University has brought me closer to that feeling of home and belonging, I must now set out to find my place in the larger world after graduation. I will continue to remain mindful of the signs along the way, and I imagine that there may even come a day when, like Minko Chickasaw, I will take a stand on an issue and find myself having to part company with a family member or colleague. However, if I'm as fortunate as my Chickasaw ancestors, I will make my way back to familiar territory. Individuated, separate, and sovereign, yet close enough to my brethren or colleagues to meet up around some campfire, coffee shop, or casino game table, where we can count the stories of our common ancestry. As each of us embarks upon our post-graduation journeys, whether we believe that our next steps are guided by divine providence or derived from the serendipitous tilt of a wooden pole, may Iti Fabasa Holitopa always lead us closer to each other and that feeling of belonging and home. Yamomachki.
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Dean Hinkson, Dean Friedman, and Chaplain Davis for presenting me with the honor of reflecting here today. After hearing so many wonderful reflections and recitations, it's an honor to be able to share mine. With this being one of the first official commencement activities, to me, it feels like the beginning of the end. Everyone keeps saying it's not, and I'd like to believe that it's not. But there is change that awaits us as we say goodbye to our respected faculty, part ways with our beloved friends, and leave behind our blankets of security. And with it all comes a sense of fear, a sense of the unknown, a sense of fear for the unknown, a fear of the new, and a fear of all that lays ahead. I'm not here to say that it's not real or that we're overreacting, but what comforts me the most is that we've done it at least once before. And considering the fact that we're all here in our caps and gowns, I think we've done it pretty well. 4 years ago, we all left home to come here, whether home meant a few stops away on the one train that seems to break down every other day, or home meant the world with home meant as far as countries and oceans across the world, with flights that just seemed to get delayed the closer we got to our destinations. And I'm proud to say that 4 years later, we've made it. When I first received that Barnard admissions packet saying majoring in unafraid, that excited me. But over the years, especially over the past 4, that varied in meaning as well as the emotions with it. We've made it through every paper that we forgot about until the last minute, every exam that we didn't do so well on because the curve was not in our favor, unfortunately, and every snow day that ended up not being a snow day because facilities was so diligent in catching the snow before the ground caught it. Amongst these nights were moments of sadness, fear of failure, and perhaps even tears. In the Quran, it says, "For indeed, with hardship will be ease. Indeed, with hardship will be ease." It was in this repetition that I found solace and comfort throughout the trials and challenges that I encountered. The fact that ease does not follow hardship, but rather accompanies it, is what gives me confidence that I've done the best that I could, and the hope that the capability to do more exists. Because with this comfort, no task seems too daunting, and no force seems too mighty. As we sit here today, we're surrounded by a sea of powder blue gowns, with a possession of familiarity and a sense of belonging. We may or may not have passed each other in the hallways, sometimes pumped up on 4 cups of coffee, a lot of times after sleepless nights at Butler or Lehman. We may not even recognize each other. But at the end of the day, it was this institution that united us all, and as we part, we leave behind this home, whether it's to return to one that we came from 4 years ago or one that we're building for the next stage. Whether we meet again or not, our words will remain, as will our actions, those that we've performed and those that remain. Throughout it all, Barnard College and Columbia University has taught us all that it could, amidst the in-class essays, the take-home papers, and the readings that I may or may not have done. Yet, there remains so much to be learned. However, I truly believe that despite all the fears and the number of times my heart quavers at the thought of paying taxes, mortgages, and paying bills, frankly, adulting, whatever that means, we were blessed with an education and an experience that equips us to rise up to the challenges that we encounter and those that await us past these gates. Because, after all, with hardship comes ease. Once again, thank you to Dean Hinkson, Dean Friedman, and Chaplain Davis, and our esteemed faculty who have guided us throughout the past 4 years, and hopefully for many more to come. An immense token of gratitude also goes to my friends and family who have decided to critique me endlessly but love me relentlessly. Especially my parents for nurturing me with the faith and opportunities that makes me loud and proud to be standing here today as a Muslim, as Barnard, as Columbia, and as a New Yorker. Last but not least, congratulations to us, the class of 2017, who has made it through more than we had imagined, but not all that awaits us. But there's nothing to fear, because with hardship comes ease, with hardship comes ease.
Let's give another round of applause to all of our speakers and readers. to all of our musical groups. Another round of applause. I want to let you know if this afternoon you're looking for something wonderful to do on campus, Peace Moan is having its final concert at 2 o'clock in the Earl Hall Auditorium, which is the building on the other side of Lowe. Everybody's invited, is that right? They are now. I happen to be the president of the fan club. Let us share a moment of silence and thanksgiving. May God be with each of us. So be it. As seniors recess from the baccalaureate ceremony, student speakers, your deans, and religious life advisors will be on the chapel walk to greet you. Please stand for the final hymn, Stand Columbia.